So the role of customer insight at easyJet is really been fundamentally putting the customer at the heart of all decision making, and really making sure that it is a pivotal role in that decision. So rather than seeing it as an extra piece of insight to feed in afterwards, it's really driving that decision and the development of whatever we're doing. So whether it's ads, whether it's proposition work, whether it's customer experience. I think for me, one of the big pieces that we are working on is starting to I suppose merge a lot of the different data sources together. So internal projects around building all of our legacy data sources together is really critical for that, and building on that in terms of feeding customer insight into that, so we're able to understand what our operational performance is and what our behavioural insight can feed into actually what that means when we're actually talking to customers. So I think that's going to be a big objective for the next year for easyJet, to really start to merge and amalgamate those sources of data together to give one single version of the truth. Join the Dots has really helped us achieve those insight objectives due to the kind of agility and the kind of pragmatic nature of a community. So initially it's all about making sure that from an easyJet perspective we get the information as quick as possible, as efficient as possible, without incurring too much from a cost perspective, and the Join the Dots community really helps us achieve that. It can mean that we're able to fire off questions to our customers and get that customer feedback in a really quick and engaging way, and actually be at the forefront of some of those decisions much earlier on than we would have been able to with traditional methods. In terms of the impact that Join the Dots has had, I think it kind of lends itself really well in terms of the way that we look at insight and the innovative nature. So the different methods that we use to actually talk to our customers. So rather than it just being standard surveys and polls, it's much more about the qualitative nature and really getting immersed in the way that the customers talk to us as a brand. So things using video diaries, other innovative ways of being able to talk to our customers and get something back from them that's not just answers on a piece of paper. How Join the Dots has really made it a success working with easyJet has really been around the relationship that we've built with Join the Dots. So making sure that they are involved in some of those decisions early on in terms of how we would approach a particular project, and being quite pragmatic in nature in terms of knowing when it's time to stop versus when actually we've got that extra piece of insight, and actually been a really fundamental part of the team. As a team of one, it's very difficult to be able to do everything. So actually having Join the Dots as a virtual extension of that team really helps us achieve our insight objectives within the business. Well, in terms of the last 10 years of working with Join the Dots, I think easyJet has always historically been a one-person team, and very much responsible for feeding the insight into the rest of the business and being the customer voice. So we really want to make sure that as easyJet we're working with agencies that understand our culture and mindset, and making sure that we've got that long-term partnership, which is really important for us to develop. So it's great that we're actually working with Join the Dots, and we have been doing for the last 10 years, and to be celebrating that.